Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel The Vietnam War 360 Degrees. In the previous video, we explored the history of the Vietnamese people who endured 1,000 years of Chinese domination. Vietnam, a small country with a 4,000-year-long history. Indeed, Vietnam is a heroic and steadfast nation, isn't it? The more oppressive and brutal the Chinese were, the more it strengthened the resolve of the Vietnamese people. After 1,000 years of northern domination, how did the Vietnamese achieve independence and self-governance, and how did they build and protect the country? Today, we will explore the next historical period, the feudal dynasties of the Vietnamese people, Ngô, Đinh, early Lê, Lý, and Trần. After Ngô Quyền defeated the southern Han forces on the Bạch Đằng River, he crushed the Chinese ambition to invade Vietnam, securing independence and autonomy for the nation. He ascended the throne and stabilized the country for 6 years before passing away due to illness in 944. After his death, the throne changed hands multiple times, with no one able to shoulder the responsibility effectively, leading to widespread chaos. Many regions declared their independence, resulting in uprisings and self-rule. During the post-Ngô period, the 12 Lords Rebellion saw various warlords fighting each other, causing suffering for the people for the next 20 years. Đinh was the son of an official during the reigns of Dinh and Ngô Quyền. From a young age, he returned to his hometown with his mother, showing military talent early on and proving to be a resourceful and intelligent young man. A general, impressed by his abilities, adopted him and entrusted him with military command. After his adoptive father's death, Đinh returned to Hoa Lư, gathering talented and capable people from all over. He skillfully used strategies of persuasion and military force to subdue the 12 warlords. In 968, Đinh ascended the throne with the title Đinh Tiên Hoàng Emperor and named the country Đại Cổ Việt, establishing the capital at Hoa Lư. The people's lives were peaceful and stable. After 11 years, Emperor Đinh Tiên Hoàng and his son were killed by a court official named Đỗ Thích, who attempted to seize the throne. However, lower officials of the Đinh dynasty captured and executed him. Subsequently, they placed Đinh Toàn on the throne when he was only 6 years old, with General Lê Hoàn taking control of the government. At that time, the Song dynasty had unified China in the north. Upon hearing of Đinh Tiên Hoàng death, they sent troops to attack Đại Việt. Facing the threat of invasion, the emperor's stature and the court officials elevated Lê Hoàn to the throne, bestowing upon him the title of Emperor Lê Đại Hành. Thus, the Đinh dynasty, which lasted for 14 years and 2 generations, came to an end. Emperor Lê Đại Hành ascended the throne in 980 and sent an envoy with a letter to the Song dynasty, falsely claiming it was from the Đinh dynasty, requesting to be appointed as an official and offering tribute. The purpose was to delay the Song invasion and give Đại Việt more time to prepare its military forces. In 981, the Song dynasty launched 2 armies to attack Đại Việt, one by sea and one by land. Emperor Lê Đại Hành stationed an infantry force in ambush at Chiêu Lao Pass, while he personally led the naval forces to defend at Bạch Đằng River. The Song army at Chiêu Lao Pass was ambushed and suffered heavy losses, with over half of their troops being annihilated. Hearing this, the Song forces advancing by the sea withdrew. Despite the victory, Emperor Lê Đại Hành feared that Đại Việt could not withstand the Song dynasty's power for long. He sent an envoy to the Song court to negotiate peace and offer tribute. At that time, China was also facing internal strife, so the Song emperor agreed to cease hostilities. Before ascending to the throne, Emperor Lê Đại Hành had sent a fake envoy to the Champa kingdom, but the envoy was captured by the Champa authorities. With no more worries about northern enemies, Emperor Lê Đại Hành led his troops to retaliate against Champa for this betrayal. Champa was defeated, and thereafter, they were forced to pay tribute to Đại Việt annually. During this period, Emperor Lê Đại Hành reputation spread far and wide, thanks to his ability to pacify internal turmoil and stabilize military authority, leading to a stable life for the people. In 1005, Emperor Leidai passed away at the age of 65 after reigning for 24 years. The princes of the Lei dynasty contended for the throne, causing unrest for a period of time. In 1009, the court officials recognized the talent and virtue of Li Gongwen. Thus, they honored him as the king, establishing the foundation of the Li dynasty. Thus, the early Lei dynasty ruled for 3 generations over 29 years. Li Gongwen ascended to the throne, becoming Li Taidou. Li Taidou recognized that the land of Hualu was too cramped, so he decided to move the capital to Latang in 1010. When he arrived at Daila, Li Taidou saw a golden dragon flying here, so he changed the name of the city to Tanglang Citadel. After ascending to the throne, King Li Taidou sent envoys to China to seek recognition and ensure the safety of the country. The Chinese emperor promptly granted him the title of Zachi Guanbun, meaning the king of Zachi province. He was a wise and compassionate king, highly skilled in military affairs. He was also the first to lay the foundation for a significant cultural development phase in the history of the Vietnamese people. In 1014, the Đại Lý dynasty sent troops to attack Đại Việt. King Li Taidou dispatched his generals to suppress the invasion. The Đại Lý army was defeated in battle, providing an opportunity for the Li dynasty to annex this region, which is now known as Hà Giang, into Đại Việt. In 1028, King Li Taidou passed away at the age of 55 after ruling the country for 19 years. Prince Phật Mã ascended to the throne as King Li Taitong. Taitong was known for his strategic acumen and skill in dealing with both domestic uprisings and border conflicts. He personally led expeditions to suppress rebellion wherever it arose within his realm. Despite reigning for over 15 years, the Champa kingdom refused to submit and often disturbed maritime trade. Therefore, in 1044, Li Taidong led his troops to attack Champa. They captured over 5,000 people and 30 elephants to bring back to Đại Việt. However, upon returning home, the king rented land to these captured individuals for them to settle and make a living in Đại Việt. King Li Taidong was sincerely compassionate towards his people and deeply earned their affection. In years of famine or after returning from battles, he would exempt or reduce taxes for the people for several years. In 1054, King Li Taidong passed away after reigning for 27 years at the age of 55. Following his death, Prince Nhật Tông ascended the throne, becoming King Li Taitong, and changed the country's title to Đại Việt. Taitong was also a compassionate monarch, earning the admiration and respect of his people. Whenever the Champa kingdom stirred up trouble, Taitong personally led campaigns against the invaders. He even captured the Champa king alive. In response, the Champa king offered 3 provinces of his kingdom to the Li dynasty in exchange for peace. King Li Taitong agreed to accept these provinces and pardoned the Champa king, allowing him to return to his homeland. In the 32nd year of his reign, Taitong passed away after ruling for 17 years at the age of 50. His son, Prince Lý Tông, who was only 7 years old, succeeded him to the throne. Despite his youth, Lý Tông showed great talent. During his reign, he focused on improving the country, investing in infrastructure such as dikes to prevent flooding, and initiating examinations to select talented individuals for government positions. Lý Tông initiated the construction of the Quốc Tử Giám, the first university in Vietnam. Its remains can still be found in Hanoi today. He implemented a merit-based system for government officials, selecting talented individuals from the central to local levels. Since the Đinh and early Lei dynasties, Chinese officials no longer directly ruled over Vietnam, but there were still intentions of invasion. The Song dynasty in China prepared military forces for a second invasion of Đại Việt, secretly constructing a fortress near the Đại Việt border. However, Đại Việt became aware of the Song's intentions. In 1075, General Lý Thường Kiệt decided to execute a strategic surprise attack. He decided to concentrate two fronts of the army to advance against the Song dynasty. Infantry forces led by Tôn Đản marched towards Ung while Lý Kiệt led the naval forces along the southern coast of Đại Tống. The Đại army defeated the fortress and held it for over a month, capturing many people and treasures to bring back to their country. Upon learning of this, the Song emperor was furious. In 1076, he dispatched one army via land to advance towards the northern border of Đại Việt, while another army traveled by sea to advance towards the Bạch Đằng River. After the successful surprise attack, Đại Việt had prepared to counter the Song forces. A naval force set up an ambush at the Bạch Đằng River, while Lý Kiệt would lead the ground forces to confront the enemy head-on. He constructed a defensive line on the southern bank of the New River using wooden stakes. The Song army swiftly crossed the border by passing the Đại Việt outpost. Upon reaching the New River and facing Lý Kiet's defensive line, the Song forces organized two attempts to cross the river and attack but failed. They had no choice but to halt their advance and await reinforcements from the naval forces. As the Song naval forces approached the Bạch Đằng River, they were ambushed by the Đại Việt naval forces, suffering heavy casualties and being unable to proceed further, forcing them to anchor their boats at the river mouth. After being held up for 2 months at the defensive line along the New River, the Song army showed signs of exhaustion. Lý Kiet organized a counterattack and achieved victory. Following this, he sent envoys to negotiate peace with the Song commander. Seeing the unfavorable situation with many casualties, dwindling supplies, the Song commander agreed to withdraw both the infantry and naval forces back to the country. Thus, the second resistance against the Song invasion was completely successful. In 1103, to the south, the Champa kingdom sent troops to reclaim the 3 provinces that had been ceded to Đại Việt earlier. Despite being over 70 years old at the time, Lý Kiet personally led the defense. The Champa forces were defeated, and they agreed to return the 3 provinces as before. Since then, the southern countries all pay tribute to Đại Việt. A year after Lý Kiet's passing, he was a strategic genius who defeated the Song in the north and maintained peace with Champa in the south. Truly a renowned general of Vietnam. Lý Nhân Tông ruled until 1127, reigning for 56 years, passing away at the age of 63. As King Nhân Tông had no heir, his grandson ascended the throne, becoming King Lý Thần Tông. During this period, there were loyal and talented officials who assisted the king in governing the country, resulting in fewer internal disruptions. The people lived in peace and prosperity. Lý Thần Tông ruled successfully for 10 years until his passing in 1138 at the age of 23. His successor, King Lý Anh Tông, ascended the throne at the age of 3. The governance of the country still depended on wise and patriotic officials. Emphasis was placed on education and military training. 20 years later, in 1159, when the kingdom of Đại Lý weakened, King Lý Anh Tông led his army to reclaim the land of the Thai people in Yên Bái and Lào Cai, incorporating it into Đại Viet's territory. In 1176, King Lý Anh Tông passed away after reigning for 37 years. His successor, King Lý Cao Tông, ascended the throne when he was not even 3 years old. Cao Tông grew up indulging in endless pleasure, and within the court, none of the royal officials were concerned about the state of the nation. The enemy from the north and the south were both causing turmoil, and within the country, looting and plundering became rampant, causing great suffering among the people. Fortunately, the Trần family managed to quell the chaos and preserve the capital. In 1210, Emperor Lý Cao Tông passed away at the age of 38, after reigning for 35 years. The crown prince ascended to the throne and took the title Duệ Tông. Duệ Tông was fond of drinking and abandoned his duties in governance, delegating all authority to Trần Thủ Độ. Duệ Tông had no sons, only 2 daughters. In 1224, Trần Thủ Độ pressured King Duệ Tông to become a monk. allowing the throne to pass to his daughter, Li Qiuhuang, who was only 7 years old at the time. Chen Tudou arranged for his grandson, Chen Kai, who was 8 years old, to marry King Qiuhuang. Subsequently, Chen Kai was proclaimed king by his wife. With this, the Li dynasty came to an end after ruling the country for 216 years. The dynasty had 9 generations of succession. The Li dynasty contributed to the prosperity of Vietnam by expanding territory to the north, pacifying the south, reforming the military, and maintaining legal institutions to uphold the autonomy of the people. From 1225, Chen Kai ascended to the throne as Chen Taitong. He appointed Chen Tudou his royal tutor. As Chen Taitong was only 8 years old at the time, Chen Tudou effectively controlled the government. Chen Tudou, in his efforts to secure the Trần dynasty's power, ruthlessly suspended the remnants of the Li dynasty. Despite Chen Taitong's accession to the throne, the Cham kingdom continued to resist, vassalage, and frequently incited unrest and raids to reclaim his lost territories. In 1252, Chen Taitong personally led the army to attack the Cham kingdom, capturing many prisoners and retrieving a significant amount of land. At the same time, in China, the Song dynasty was under attack by the Mongol forces. The Mongols were known for their brutality and martial power, skilled in horseback riding and archery. The army led by Genghis Khan was the most formidable force in the world, conquering vast territories from Europe to Asia. In 1257, the Mongols turned their attention to Daili, invading the country. After conquering Daili, the Mongol ruler, seeing the small size of Daili, sent envoys with letters demanding submission. Instead of surrendering, King Chen Taitong captured and imprisoned the Mongol envoys. He then dispatched his younger brother, Chen Buktuan, to lead the army to the northern border to defend against the Mongol invasion. How will the mighty Mongol army respond to Daili after capturing their envoys? How will Daili, a very small country, resist the Mongol forces? Let's stay tuned for the next part in the video, folks. Your comments on the Vietnamese people during this period are very welcome. If you found this video interesting, feel free to share it and hit the like button. Thank you for watching.